Greetings everyone, BJ Waller back with you for Sunday at the Zoo. Probably what I'm going to be changing our schedule to a little bit here. So I did want to get back into the zoo games here. Zoo Tycoon Wildlife Park and of course Planet Zoo on a more regular basis. Or at least Planet Zoo on a more regular basis, but get the Wildlife Park and Zoo Tycoon games on schedule a little bit more regularly here. There's a lot of stuff I want to get on schedule regularly, so we'll do some zooing here. What I was originally going to do when I threw this on the schedule for this morning was go ahead and continue our free play mode that we did in the during our mega stream back in July. But I think what I'm going to do is restart the campaign. We'll just, because I did want to do this, on an ongoing weekly basis for the immediate future. And we've done a handful of the campaign missions. The first four, we've done the first 4 campaign missions on other streams, during 100 Days of Gaming and other stuff like that. But I figured, it would be, and there's a lot, there's Steam achievements for the entire campaign thing here. So I figured, let's go ahead and just play through the campaign here. And then, we can do our freeform zoo on occasion or after that or what have you, mixed in on different, after we get through the campaign. I did want to we'll go through the campaign now, because that'll be interesting to go through, do the trials, because for a lot of the games like this, I ignore the scenarios, the campaigns, everything else. I just do freeform building. So this will be a nice little change of pace, and it'll be nice to knock out some of the Steam achievements while we're at it. So what I'm going to end up doing is we're just going to start fresh here, start at square one for this series, and have at it through the entire campaign missions here, which are quite numerous. I may have to reset the level. Let's see. I don't know if this will start from the beginning. If not, we'll just have to go back and restart the level here. Yeah, I think we have to restart the level then. Yeah, we'll have to restart the level. Okay. So we gotta reset each level. That's what we gotta do here. Okay. Oh, here we go. Restart level. Boom. Yep, let's do it. Boom, 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 boom. So here we go. Let us begin.
Welcome to South Africa. You're the new intern. My name is Enrique, and I'm the head of the personnel department here. It's great that someone has traveled so far to learn more about how to keep African wildlife. I sometimes get the feeling that all young guys think of nothing but soccer. We're only in the building phase, but my boss has some ambitious plans. Since his last visit to the US, he's been raving about the fabulous wildlife parks they have there. Come a little closer, and I'll tell you something. Tip, use the mouse wheel to zoom closer. So between you and me, my boss is a real entrepreneur and seems to have gotten mixed up with some dubious investors. If you want my opinion, the only thing these guys care about is money. They don't give a damn about the animals. But on the other hand, we desperately need those investors here, because in the past, the state has been pumping money into conserving the rich diversity of animal species. But now it looks like those funds are needed to maintain all the new soccer stadiums they've been building. But hey, enough of that. I want to show you something. Follow me. Tip, use the mouse wheel to zoom out and move the mouse to the edge of the screen to follow Enrique. You can also use the arrow. We're planning a big adventure park here, where visitors from all over the world can see the most magnificent African animals right up close. It will be a unique experience for the whole family. We haven't introduced any big cats here yet, as they're more difficult to keep than grazing animals. Come on, I'll show you around. Tip, use the arrow keys or move the mouse to the edge of the screen.
You're sparkling, Enrique.
Take a look into this enclosure. You're a city dweller, eh? So maybe
no.
these stripes look a little familiar,
Suburbs.
huh? Only kidding. This is Bianca, our baby zebra. Bianca was only born a few weeks ago, but sadly her mother did not survive the birth. It is important you learn how to handle vulnerable animals, so that's why first we're going to attend to Bianca. Let's see how Bianca is getting on. Every time you select an animal, a list of the current well-being status and needs of that animal will appear on the bottom right of the screen. Like all hoofed animals, zebras are herd animals, so we want to integrate Bianca into our herd of zebras. Maybe we'll find a surrogate mother willing to suckle her. So please put Bianca in the zebra enclosure close by, next to the water trough if you can. Tip, select an animal and then click OK to move it to another spot.
Where's the other zebras? That's what I want to know. Okay, there they are. Take Bianca. Hey, Bianca.
Well done! Take some time to have a look around our park. We have another enclosure with gazelles.
Oh. There she is. I know I've remarked before that it's...
Oh yeah, if you're through with the task or don't know what to do next, use the flashing button at the top here to find out more about the tasks you have open.
But even then, was this... What did we say this game was? 2011? Something like that? Almost 10 years old? And the animals, I mean, the animals really look good in this game. Oh, look out. Here she comes. Alright, let's take a look around the zoo here. Oh. There we go. We get stuck sometimes in the circular mode. Right,
Good! Here you can see an overview of all your outstanding tasks and your progress in each one. But right now, Sarah, the park's landscape architect, is waiting for you by the gazelle enclosure. Go and find her.
Why? Because the mouse goes off the screen, that's why. There she is.
Hello, I'm Sarah, and I'm supervising the development of the wildlife park. I'd love you to help me learn how to design enclosures to suit the needs of different species. Designing an enclosure is one of the most creative but demanding tasks in a wildlife park. It's really fun to actually build your own design concepts. But we must, of course, bear in mind the specific habits and requirements of the animals that will inhabit the enclosure. First, I'd like to use the gazelle enclosure to show you the best way of building an animal enclosure. The most important equipment in an animal enclosure is the feeding device, and there are different types of facilities for different food, sometimes also in different sizes and at different heights. Select an animal to find out which food is required by a particular species. You can use the Details button, which will then appear on the bottom right to view all the important info about the animal species. Herbivores can also feed on the foliage in the enclosure, but for this we would need to build really big enclosures that are difficult to manage. So let's look for some suitable feeding devices to place in the enclosure. You'll find these in the enclosure facilities section on the top left.
Okay.
We've only placed drinking troughs in the gazelle enclosure for the moment. So now select appropriate feeding devices for our gazelles and put them in the enclosure. It's important to position them so that both the animals and the keeper have free access to them from all sides.
I guess that's the important thing to remember, all sides, huh? Oh. Allergies are kicking in here. Okay, let's see. We gotta see what the gazelles need. This is one thing I gotta try to focus on doing too, is doing the tractor tour rides through some of these habitats too. Guess I gotta think of this as about doing this as sort of like the Sim City ways, building my track ride, and then building enclosures around that. It goes through gazelles here, right? Yeah. It goes through the gazelle habitat, but that's the only one that actually goes through in this one. Interesting. Alright, I need to, let's go ahead and get these gazelles squared away here. Grasses. So they need grasses. Feed basket grasses. Guess we can put that right there.
That turned out really well. A keeper will now fill up the feeding device, and the gazelle can now enjoy a hearty meal.
That's excellent. That it? Okay. What's our next task here?
When you select one of the gazelles, you will also see that minerals are an important part of a balanced diet, too. So now try placing 2 salt licks in the enclosure. Again, make sure they are placed far enough away from the other facilities in the enclosure and from the enclosure perimeter.
Spelling. So we need 2 salt licks, okay. We throw one over here. It'll work. And we can put one here.
You can now see the gazelles go to the salt licks to restore their mineral balance. To do this, select a gazelle and then the food section where you can use the bars to see how well their food requirement is currently being satisfied.
There we go. There we go.
Okay, so now that the gazelles have a healthy diet, we'll move on to their physical well-being. Many animals that have a coat need places where they can scratch and scrape. If you have a cat, then you'll know what I mean.
Yes, indeed.
Gazelles also have a beautiful coat that needs constant care, so you need to provide a place where they can have a good scratch. Now try to find a scratching device in the enclosure facility section and install it in the gazelle enclosure. Again, make sure you select a suitable spot so the gazelles can get to it easily from all sides.
Scratching device. A log, perhaps, or branches. Jump and scratch. I think it's the branches, if I'm not mistaken here. Log. Do this right in the middle, I think. Yep, looks like they're scratching. See, this one goes for the scratch. Let's see. Yep, it works. Okay. Scratch, good.
Well done! The gazelles are now totally satisfied, and we can now focus on we're in the process of planning an enclosure here that is big enough for a herd of up to 5 gnus. We have already finished a section of the enclosure fencing, and now I'd like you to finish it off for me. As before, you will find fences in enclosure construction. Tip: you should also place a gate in the enclosure fence so the staff can also enter at any time.
Okay, so we gotta fence this off, add a gate. Well, there's the gate, so the gate's there. Alright. So let's see, this looks like this is the yellow one. Is this the plain one? This might be the plain one. Yep, this is good here. Oh, it looks like we got a thunderstorm going on.
Let's now see if the news can be delivered. To do this, go to the animal trading section on the top left. You're now in a sort of marketplace for animals where there's a constant stream of offers and propositions for wild animals from professional animal traders locally and even from all over the world. Wild animals, as we require them, should only be traded with the relevant permits. This is very strictly monitored. Look, our new trader is now advertising his animals for sale. So we should act as quickly as possible. We'll just take 1 gnu at first. It's better if you learn how to handle a single animal before we establish the entire herd. So now select a gnu and go to Buy at the bottom right of the menu. Then select the spot where you want to place the new.
So let's see what we got here. 3-year-old female. No disease, energy low. Both females. 7-year-old female, energy better. Almost a full star there. She's only 90. This one's 220. Well, let's go with this one. She seems a little bit more better established here. Boom.
Great! It's done. It's always a thrill when you acquire such a magnificent animal.
There we go.
You can now select the new at any time and move it to another place. However, it should now remain within the new enclosure. Otherwise, I fear you'll incur the wrath of Enrique. You've already learned how to build and equip an enclosure for a hoofed animal using the example of the Gazelle enclosure. Now try to satisfy the gnus needs too. Here's another tip. You could copy a great deal from the Gazelle enclosure.
More of your own species, huh? So scratch, grasses, and some grasses and leaves, water, of course. No minerals. Alright. Let's go water trough. I guess we can do the large water trough. Oops. I forgot how to rotate. There we go. So they like leaves, so we'll throw a basket of leaves down here. And then we'll throw a basket of grasses over here. And she needs a scratch too, so we'll go ahead and throw the scratching branch over here. There we go. I think that's all we need for the new. Looks like he's scratching on the keeper. It's a happy new.
Well done! The new is already settling into his new home. But as you know, it's a herd animal and will want to be surrounded by a sufficient number of its own kind. Now try to bring more gnus into the enclosure until the entire herd is happy and contented.
All right, let's bring him in. That's a little old. 12. So we go ahead with this one. This is what, the male? Yep. We'll do the young one too. See how we do here. We need 5 gnus. All right, so we got 3. So we do need 2 more. Okay. So we need them all. Looks like looks like we got somebody who needs some minerals here. Just gonna throw the salt lick in. We'll put the salt lick over here. Yeah, mineral deficient there. Oop. There we go. We need grasses. Alright, looks like our news are good. We're almost there. 95% they need to be. Uh-oh. That seems to be a problem. It's closed. Okay. That was odd.
I'm so proud of you.
There we go.
You've actually managed to make all the news happy. We're through here for the moment.
Okay.
I would now like to introduce you to our gardener, Nelson. He's standing by the Jeep track in the Gazelle enclosure and is just busying himself with some planting. You could maybe go help him out.
Okay. Oh, this is an observation post here, isn't it? Oh, this is the where people get on to the ride there. Okay. Bancomat. There he is. All right, let's go. Righty then.
Hey, Nelson. Gazelles are also incredibly shy animals, and that's why it's particularly difficult for the park visitors to drive too near them without scaring them off. So we're going to hide the Jeep track behind a line of orange trees.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our orange trees have become rather shriveled in transit, and you can help Nelson revitalize them. So please select one of the orange trees along the Jeep track. You may notice they obviously aren't entirely happy with the ground here. So to ensure our orange trees flourish and bear some beautiful fruit, we must acquire some good soil. Select the flashing button on the top left, where you can choose from a range of ground types. Now try to select a spot with just the right amount of ground hardness for the orange trees, and use the mouse to place it along the row. If you select a tree and then select the Details button on the bottom right, you can find out which ground hardness is best suited to these trees.
Savannah grass, 35 to 70. Okay, so we need to get some savanna grass for these things. Take a drone's eye view of this here. There we go.
Excellent! This ground is perfect for orange trees, and we now want to place a line of orange trees along the Jeep track. You'll find the plants on the top left by the flashing button. You will also find orange trees under subtropical plants. Select the orange tree and then go to the Buy button in the bottom section of the menu and place a further 8 orange trees along the Jeep track.
Eight. One. Two. Three. Oh, come on, you knew. Hold on, I gotta get the ground more. Here. There we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. 6. 7. I can't put it there, so we'll have to put number 8 here. 8.
Remember, plants are also living things that need... Hey, it's looking really good. The line of trees can now really flourish and blossom.
Excellent.
Our gardener Nelson will see to it that the plants are always well watered and fertilized. They may even produce some delicious, juicy oranges that the visitors can pluck from the branches.
Really?
Your internship is coming to an end. As an extra reward, you will receive a gold-plated African sculpture. You can display it in your own park if you want to have one at a later date. Tip: you will constantly receive gifts throughout the game, and you can view them by selecting the button on the top right.
Congratulations! You have successfully completed your internship in South Africa.
Excellent. Well, our internship is done then, huh? Nice. Yes, let's start the next mission. Let's go for it. The new skill, so what we want to do now is restart this level.